All right, so for today's lesson, this is an intro to measures of central tendency. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a list of numbers and turn it into a dot plot and then turn it into a frequency table. We're going to put the numbers in order. We're going to underline the middle number. We're going to box the number we see the most. We're going to add all the numbers together and count how many numbers we have. And we're going to do this from a list of numbers, from a dot plot, and from a frequency table. So let's get to it. So let's start with the dot plot. In my list of numbers here, I see I have the numbers 0 through 6. So I'm going to fill out this number line here with the numbers 0 through 6. And then what I'm going to do is every time I have a 0 on my list, that's how many dots I'm going to put on. I had 2 zeros, so 2 dots, and I'm going to just repeat that process throughout. There were 3 1s, 2 2s, 4 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s, and 3 6s, all right? And see how I crossed out? That's helpful for me, so make sure I'm not missing any 6s, but oh, look, I did miss 6s. I missed 2 6s. So there's 5 6s altogether, my goodness. Okay, so everything's crossed out. That means I got it all. That's a dot plot. Let's do a frequency table. Now, a frequency table is basically, these are the numbers that we have, right? And we see this on our number line on the dot plot. And a frequency is how many times the numbers here on the left occur or repeat. So here for 0, we have 2. For 1, we had 3. For 2, we have 2. For 3, we had 4. 4, we had 2. 5, we have 2 dots. And 6, we had 1, 2, 3, 5 dots. Okay, easy as that. Now, all of these represent the same type of data, just in different forms. That's what's really cool about statistics. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these numbers and we're going to put them in order from 0 to 6. And we're going to list out how many we have. So here we go. All right, so here's all of our numbers listed in order. There's 2 zeros, 3 1s, 2 2s, 3 3s. Nope, there were 4 3s. There were 4 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s, 5 6s. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to count how many numbers there are, because you can't do this underlining the middle until you know how many numbers there are. So you can count the order here. I'm going to use the dots. That's easier for my brain. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so there are 20 numbers here. Because there are 20 numbers, if we underline the middle, there's going to be 2 middles. Okay? Anytime you have an even number, and then remember, an even number is a number divisible by 2 that you can divide by 2 nicely, there's going to be 2 middles. So I know that the middle of 20, if I divide that by 2, is 10. So here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I know there's going to be this one and this one because there should be 2 of them because it's an even number. And we'll talk about what happens when there's an odd number next. Okay, next up, we're going to box the number we see the most. Well, the number we see the most is this number 6 here, okay? And all this is important for the next lesson. And then next up, we're going to add all these numbers together. All right, so handy dandy calculator, and straight up, just add them all up. See if you guys get the same thing as me. So you can do it 2 ways. You can add all these numbers in order, like how I did on the top, or I used some multiplying skills, right? There were 3 1s, so that means I had 3 total. There were 2 2s, so that was 4 total. 4 3s is 12. 2 4s is 8. 2 5s is 10. 5 6s is 30. So you can do either way, but see how I got the 67 is the same number? So either is fine, whichever you are more confident in. If you got good, mental math, multiplying skills, 100%. If you're like, oh, it's a bit of a struggle, then just put the numbers in order, adding them into your calculator. All right, next one, we're gonna do a little bit faster now. So now we have a dot plot, and this is the number of absences in an 11th period. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to list out these numbers, these dots here in my list section. So there's 1, 2, there's 1, 3, 2 4s, 2 5s, because remember this is 3, this is 5. Don't forget about those. I got 1 6, 3 7s, an 8, a 9, a 10, and 2 11s. All right, so that's my list. Now my frequency table, I had 1 2, 1 3, 2 4s, 2 5s, 1 6, 3 7s, 1 8, 1 9, 1 10, 2 11s. And now I'm gonna write these in order, and I'm gonna do that really quickly. All right, and I put the commas in between because especially when I get to double digits, I don't wanna accidentally think this is a 1 and this is a 0. That would be no good. All right, so now how many numbers there are? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 numbers. Okay, so we have an odd set of numbers. So because it's odd, right? Earlier it was even. That means there's going to be 1 middle. So to do this, work your way from the outside in. So you can start from the outside and then move up 1 on both sides, move up 1 again, move up 1 again, move up 1 again, move again, and again, and again, and then see how we're just left with that 7 in the middle there? So that 7 is my middle number. And it makes sense, right? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers on the right. So that is the middle. That's the true middle. Okay, next, we're gonna box the number we see the most, and it looks like we repeat 7s the most. Okay, now let's add up all these numbers to see what we get. All right, so when we total them all together, we get 99. All right, last one we're gonna do together. So this time we have a frequency table and we have to make a dot plot and a list. So this one's a little bit more challenging. I'm gonna start with the dot plot because frequency tables and dot plots kind of move well together. So I have 13, 14, 15, and 16 as my ages. So 13, 14, 15, and 16. And for 13, there's only one person that's 13, so I'm gonna put 1 dot. 14, I have 10, so I'm gonna put 10 dots, and I'm gonna squeeze them in here. Ooh, I barely made it. And then 15, we have 8 students, and then 16, we have 2. Okay, so I'm gonna now list out all these numbers. All right, now I listed out the numbers in my list section. I'm gonna put them in order now. Good luck with squeezing them in. All right, so I had to make 2 rows to put my numbers in order, so we just have to be careful because we need to know how many numbers there are, so let's count this out. We got 1 plus 10 here is 11, plus 8 is 19, 20, 21. So we have 21 dots here. Or 21 is an odd number, which means there's only going to be 1 middle. So remember, just be careful, work from the outside in, starting here, and just move up 1 number at a time until you find the one you end up in the middle with. Let's see if we get the same one. All right, so as I got originally I thought it was this one, and then I counted and it was wrong. So it's actually the last 14 on the list, and you can double check that, which is what I did and found out I was wrong. But I need to have an even number on both sides of my underlined 14 that I consider the middle. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And on the other side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I had an even amount on both sides. So that's how I know this is the true middle and not this one. Because when I checked, and this is why you should check your work, this guy was wrong. Okay, box the number you see the most. Well, I know I have the most 14s because there's 10 of them. I already know that. So there we go. Now, I'm gonna add all these numbers up together and get the total. Let's see if we get the same. Okay, so the answer is 305. Hopefully we all got the same. This is all we're doing today. This is very good practice for when we actually start figuring out the true measures of central tendency, mean, median, mode, and range. Ask your teacher if you have any questions, continue the worksheet, and we'll see you guys next time.